Isn't that pretty? Look at those clouds. Little tiny snow flurries, and they say we're gonna get 6 to 9 inches. What? Does Prescott even know what to do with that amount of snow? I don't know. But welcome back. It's been 3 weeks since I have put on a show. The last episode was our enchiladas. I think those were an absolute blast to make. So today, following the alphabet, we are focused on F words. So we're gonna cook the F out of some fun F dishes. And that is going to include some Fettuccine Alfredo. For the first time ever, I'm making my own homemade Alfredo sauce, and I have a couple little twists that I'm throwing in, so I'm excited to share that with you. We're also gonna play with this thing. It's called Fennel. I don't know why I just did that. But Fennel is, it's a root vegetable, and it has an anise flavor to it, a lot like black licorice, but not as intense. We're gonna put that on a bed of baby arugula, so a super peppery little lettuce it holds up to dressing, so we're gonna do a warm dressing on this one and see if we can kind of tenderize it a little bit. And but we're also, my inspiration for this Italian feast is focaccia bread. And I was supposed to have my very first guest here. His name is Caden, Chef Caden. And he's 11 or maybe 12 or I don't know, but he is absolutely adorable. And I was so excited to have him in my little kitchenette today. But as a young man, his plans changed. So we just have to go with the flow and the show must go on. So I'm gonna attempt this bread all by myself, but because I'm making so many little batches because I want to show you each step, Caden is going to end up with a loaf himself to share with his family in the very near future. So I want to get started on cooking my fettuccine. I have salted my water, and you don't want to be shy with the salt. You really want to make sure that there's enough salt in your water because you want the noodles to have an opportunity to be seasoned prior to the beautiful sauce that will eventually go inside. So I'm going to grab my little tongs here, see if I can push this down a little bit. And the other trick to cooking noodles, you have to give yourself enough water in the vessel that you're cooking them in. If they are in too small of a pot or not enough water, that's when they start sticking. So that's the secret to making sure that you have noodles that are individual and hold on to whatever sauce you're putting on top. Speaking of sauce, okay, so I read 1.5 million recipes for Alfredo sauce, and they all seem to kind of be the same. So I'm bringing to room temperature butter, and I'm throwing in a little bit of cream cheese. I don't think that's completely traditional, but at any moment in my life where I can add flavor, I want to add flavor. So this is all going in. And this is going to melt down. I think I lost my heat. That's not good. And there's the baby flame. Okay. This stove is a little more challenging for me to cook on, so I'm still learning my way around it. It's just so sweet and innocent, it takes a little extra long for things to actually do what I want them to do. So with patience will be a successful meal. So with the cream cheese and the melted butter, I'm adding in heavy cream. I'm doing anywhere from a cup to a cup and a half, and we'll just see how much sauce it makes. Look at how thick and luxurious that is. You guys, this is not a dish for swimsuit season, maybe? Actually, this is the last dish before we start focusing on our swimsuit season. How's that? So there's really nothing light about it, and that's exactly what I wanted for this chilly winter's day, is a warm Italian meal. I just think that the ooey gooiness of an Italian feast is gonna go real far tonight with my family. And of course, I'm cooking for them again. I love sharing my made-up recipes with them. So we're gonna let this go. You don't want the cream and butter to actually come to a boil. I don't want to sear anything on the bottom, and I want it to take its time to kind of become one in its own little natural way. So I'm just gonna keep an eye on it, stir it every now and again, and soon, very soon, we will add in some fresh Parmigiano Reggiano. I went all out on this little block of cheese. I see Giada and all of my favorite Italian chefs, Alex, use this amazing cheese, and I've never even really cooked with it myself. I've had it on tables that I've gotten to explore with on my food, but never really cooked with it. And when I was shaving it earlier, it almost sprinkles like a little snow flurry. It is so gorgeous. And so I'll show you using the appropriate utensil because I wanted a really fine grate on the cheese for it to melt quickly. So we're gonna let all of this sit here, and I want to focus on the star of the show. This is, okay. Tip number 1, when you want your yeast to bloom, put it in a big enough bowl, or else this will happen. Oh yeah, it bloomed. Yes, Let's see, how am I gonna do this? God, you guys, I'm telling you, this is what makes it worth it though, right? All of my little errors, I'm telling you, it's live, it's for real, and I dig it. I wouldn't have it any other way. Let's see here. I do want to get every single ounce out, so I'm gonna grab my handy dandy double spatula, Kevin Yamaguchi, I know your fave. A cup of flour to it's a half a tablespoon of flour and a half a teaspoon of sugar in your 1/4 cup of water. That's what makes your yeast bloom. The instructions are going to be on the back of your packet. And then you're going to add that into 1 1/4 cup flour and a half of a tablespoon of salt. And I'm just going to start mixing after I clean my paws. And once I kind of get this going, I'm going to add in a 1/4 cup of olive oil. And this is, I think, what separates focaccia from all of the other breads. Use a sweet olive oil. That's not coming out fast enough for me. I mean, we have all day, and I'd love to chit-chat with all of you because I love you, but we'll just do it this way. Usually olive oil is just a drizzle, but there's about a half cup or so, and we'll leave that be. And then we're just going to mix this all together. And the goal is to have, I want to say, gummy, kind of a gummy dough. It's okay. This is going to lay out a little bit flatter than any other bread that you would typically make. Now I'm just going to go ahead and get my fingers right on in. And we're just going to make sure that this is completely mixed. Now this is just a half portion of the traditional recipe that my mom helped me make earlier today because we have so much focaccia bread going on. I've got my first batch here because I wanted to show you all what the ending product looked like, and then of course we've got this dough. So this is going to sit under a damp cloth. And you're going to let it rise for a couple hours.
Did you need to add water? Warm water?
And a 1/4 cup of warm water. Yeah, follow the recipes. This is why I need Chef Caden here. I'm telling you, this was kind of a last minute thing for me to try to learn. And thanks to my mother, I have dough. Okay, so moving on. And we do just have to move on. I mean, I could do this all day, but Lord. So add the hot water, put the towel over, let it go for a couple hours, and it's going to rise on you. So here is the dough after it's been resting. Now we put a little bit of olive oil inside the bowl so that the dough could expand with itself and kind of have some smooth sailing to it. And then you pick whatever size vessel you want depending on how much dough you're making. And I'm just gonna push this up against the little side of the walls. You don't have to grease this because there's plenty of olive oil inside the dough, and we're also gonna drizzle it with a little bit of goodness. I have a butter mixture that I created, and then my mom's friend, this is one of the most exciting things that we have today for me to show you. My mom's friend makes olive oil, and she did a fennel infused olive oil. I mean, can you go wrong with that? Not today. So we are actually going to do the fennel right on top. What I want to do is take my little fingers and just make divots, little dimples inside the dough here. And that is going to create great little hidden places for all the deliciousness. And if you come over here real quick, I just slowly have steeping some butter, some garlic, and some rosemary. I didn't want to chop the rosemary right on top. I just wanted to infuse the butter flavor with it. And I'm going to lightly brush that onto my bread. It doesn't need a whole lot. In fact, this isn't even part of the recipe, but you know me and butter, and there we go. That answers that. So if you wanted to, you could take some basil, which I have over here. Actually, that sounds kind of cute. Let's do that. Because we're going to have basil on top of our fettuccine also. So I'm just going to roll this up real tight. And I'm going to take my knife. They call it julienne, which, yes, is my name. And we're just going to cut real thin ribbons. There we go. And I'm just going to put that right on top. And then we'll just bake that right in. This is completely different from what I did earlier down here with the already finished product. I just did more of a plain version. So this is going to be fun. I love it when I just sporadically think of things to add. And here's the fennel oil. Certainly use regular olive oil if that's what you have. The only thing is with olive oil, I find sometimes that it has a tendency to go rancid. So you want to smell it. Just make sure that you smell the sweet olive. Just make sure it doesn't smell smoky or off, anything like that. This is going to go into a 450-degree oven for, I don't know, like 20 minutes. In my oven, maybe 25. So we'll try to keep an eye on that. In she goes. That's going to be fun. So let me just take a real quick look at our sauce here. Oh, that's nice. So all these little pieces, this is kind of why I crumbled everything up. I cut all the butter and the cream cheese into smaller pieces for it to melt down a little more quickly. What I want to do at this point is add in the Parmesan cheese. Ooh, it is like, oh, heavenly edible snow. Yep. So we'll stir that right in. I'm gonna get that going there. Woo! Oh. And this will, but as it reduces down just a bit, and it'll go right over our pasta and be a treat that I've been waiting for quite some time. So, moving on. In fact, let's go ahead and swap plates here. Little burners, I mean. Yeah. Now, for the fennel salad, my great grandmother, I think on my mom's side, well, definitely on my mom's side, but great man in Middlestadt used to make a German wilted cabbage slaw. And I've been a fan of this dressing all of my life. In fact, I believe it is something that I could actually bathe in, except it's hot, so maybe I won't. But it is so good. You're going to use this on several different salads when you finally taste this. So it is the easiest thing. It is equal parts of, oh, my bacon fat congealed a bit. It's equal parts of bacon fat. Yes. Yes, don't be afraid. There she goes. So we've got bacon fat. We have a little bit of water. We have some vinegar. Oh, there we go, the whole thing. And sugar. And you want to cook this just until the sugar dissolves. I am going to add in a little bit of salt and pepper. This is my pink Himalayan salt. You just really want to season everything as you go. We'll get some pepper in there. And this is going to go over our fennel salad. Never done this before with arugula and fennel. I think it's going to make the meal pop. Let's see, so we'll set this over here. Now let's deal, speaking of, let's deal with the fennel. This guy, like I said, I want to reserve a couple of these fronds. I think they'll be really pretty to sprinkle over, well, all of the dishes actually, but right on top of the salad, just for an extra bit of green. I'm also going to use some herbs over there because I'm feeling herby and when in doubt. But what you want to do is use the bulb only. So cut the fronds off. Oh, she's cut. There we go. Sharp knife mandatory. Just going to put this over here in my little discard bag. And I think my other knife is sharper. Definitely. And let's see, I saw a little hair. There we go. Okay. You know, cleanliness first. Well, I had clean hair, but. And I'm just going to take this and go right down the center. Right down the center. And I want to cut this real fine. Now, here's the root. You don't want to eat that. Take away any of the layers that, you know, look to have some brown about them. I'm not real worried. I scrubbed this guy real good. So I'm really not terribly concerned. Oh, I can just smell. It is anise or anise. Wow, it's pungent but light. Here, you know what? Let me do a couple strips. We're going real thin. Real thin, just beautiful. Look at that. A sharp knife makes all the difference. I have to taste this. That's so crunchy. That's gonna go so good with the arugula and that warm bacon dressing. If you want to talk about a really unique salad, this one, because there's no creaminess about it, there's no mayonnaise, there's no sour cream, this salad could actually sit out for 3-4 hours on a beautiful table, you know, while you're waiting for your guests to arrive. So this is something that you could really do ahead of time. And we're just going to get half of this chopped because this was a big one. This was a really big one. Someday I will find my original cutting board. Look at that. Oh, it smells so good.
It's beautiful.
So here is the arugula. Now, this really kind of reminds me of one of my other episodes when we did Dazzling Duck. I did dandelions with that. This is like a smaller version of the dandelion. It's a lot more peppery though, and I think that the combination of these textures, these flavors, are going to send you through the moon. Just wait for the other surprises that I have that are going in this salad. So here's the lovely fennel. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Oh, I love this song. Say noche, say tu. Okay, moving on. Yeah, someday Andrew Bocelli is going to ask me to sing with him. I know it. I know it. I took some cherry tomatoes, and inside the pan that I cooked my bacon in, I seared some of these little guys, and they just popped. And so I put some salt and pepper, and that's it. So they actually cooked in some of the bacon fat. I know. Don't hold anything against me at this point. But I'm telling you, flavor, flavor, flavor. Look at how gorgeous that is. to go one step further, I got some goat cheese. This is another ingredient that I've only eaten like when I'm out, but that I've never played with here in my own kitchen or anywhere. It just crumbles. Okay, yeah, so it totally is creamy. This is kind of fun. Play with your food, even though we were told not to. So the flavor of goat cheese is a lot lighter than feta. It's creamy like a cream cheese, and seriously unique. It's got its own sense, hence coming from a goat. It's nothing that I use on a daily basis, but what a treat when you decide to go all out on a gorgeous salad like this. So I'm just gonna keep crumbling, make sure that there's enough for all of us. Look at that. Oh, the salad.
Italian colors too.
Gosh, I mean, you could add in, oh, it is Italian colors. Everything works out for a reason. But you could add in candied pecans or walnuts. You could do cranberries or what is the other fruit where you knock the seeds out with the back of the, what is the red seed?
Pomegranate?
Pomegranate. That would be amazing in this dish as well. And then of course for the topper, right before we dress, all the bacon that I cooked. Yes, ma'am. This is all going right on top. Jeez, would you look? I'm just gonna put the whole darn thing in. Why not? Why not? Is that beautiful? Look at that. And you know, after I'm done making this little video, I'm gonna go ahead and cut the other half of the bulb of the fennel. I think that it's going to really give, because it's not overpowering of that licorice flavor, and I just want a hearty, hearty salad. And there's enough arugula in here to stand up to all of this. So after I dress it, I may put in the other half. What a lovely, lovely thing. And then you can take these little beautiful fronds so that people know that there's fennel in, and just plop it right on top. You could add in basil, which I think I'm gonna go ahead and omit. I think that I'm just gonna really stick with the fennel here. So beautiful, so classy. Classy, that is the word I'm looking for. So let me remove my little board here. And I want to take a look at the pasta. Yeah, my water kind of chilled out. I had to get my water boiling up at my mom's house because my little stove was intimidated by this big pot. And I'm kind of under the impression that I want to let her go just a wee bit more, but she's on high. These are just the things that, you know, I have to figure out as I'm getting to learn my house. Maybe I should let my water boil for 4 hours. I don't know. But meanwhile, let's check on this bread. See what's going on. Oh, look at that. Yeah, it's risen. All the oil. Oh, can you smell that? Oh my goodness. Yeah, that is beautiful. So I'm going to give that another 5 or so minutes. So let's check my little sauce here. Oh, that's the creamy deliciousness that I was looking for. And what I'm going to do is add in just a touch more garlic or Parmesan. This is a microblade, and it's really great for just a fine grate of your onion, garlic, Parmesan cheese, anything that you just want on a finer scale. They're super, super sharp, and but God, it just does such a great job for doing these smaller little. You also know it as a zester. This is what I use when I zest lemons or limes to put in drinks, of course drinks, or any type of fun meal that we may be cooking. So give my hands a quick wash here. All right, my hidden secret for the Alfredo sauce that my friend Chris down at the kitchen told me about. is to add in a little bit of nutmeg. When your guests take a bite of their fettuccine alfredo and you've added in a little bit of nutmeg, it's going to be that flavor that they say, what in the world is that? And yes, my friends, it is nutmeg. Nutmeg goes really well with a lot of greens, like if you're doing mustard greens or beet greens. Even spinach is amazing. And it just gives it that extra pop of flavor, especially on warm winter nights. Look at how lovely of a consistency this is. This is going to go so gorgeous over the pasta. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, it's already coating the back of the spoon. That's really what you want. Just a nice, thick deliciousness. You can add in more cheese if you like, but I think we've got plenty. So what I want to do now, that the dressing has completely melded together, all the sugar crystals are dissolved, and I can smell the vinegar and the bacon fat, and we're just going to go ahead and pour this right over. You may not want to use the whole thing. If you let this cool down a little bit, do beware, bacon fat will congeal, just kind of like how we started off with. But you can put it in a separate container, make sure that it's heat safe. And we're just going to pour, oh my gosh, my mouth is watering. This, wow, wow. Does it smell like great Nana? Mm-hmm. Golly, I tell ya. Just gonna wipe off the little drizzles. I can see the steam coming off. Such a beautiful, light dressing. Oh, light. I mean, it's bacon fat, but it is light. It really is. Look at that. Just look at that, folks. Oh my gosh. All right, curries are in for a treat. For sure. Now, one of the funny things I did was I was so excited to play with some Kalamata olives because this is an Italian feast, and the olives that I got were pitted, or excuse me, they had pits in them. I pitted them. So I spent 4.5 hours getting all the seeds out of these suckers, and Kalamata olives, they're one of a kind for sure. I might even sprinkle a couple on these. I mean, this salad is soft in texture. They don't overpower what it is you're adding it to. Great on bruschetta, like if you did a brie and katamala and maybe a slice of pear. Hello, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. All right, one more little peek here.
That's what you should do for H. Holla!
Holla! But I think I'm doing halibut. Oh yes, folks, this is definitely gonna be an episode you're gonna wanna join in on. I'm gonna start combining my letters because I'm running out of time with my sister here. Her house is almost finished, and we finally get to move her out yonder to the prairie lands where the antelope play. But so the rest of my episodes from here on out are gonna be dual letters. So for instance, my next episode is going to be G and H, and so I'm doing gnocchi with a green goddess pesto sauce. This was courtesy of another girl that I work with from the kitchen. Her name is Christina, and she is an amazing chef, and so that was her recommendation alongside with hazelnut crusted halibut. Oh my gosh, so now I've decided to cook that in a coconut oil, so we're gonna keep it super light. So definitely stay tuned for that one. Now I'm gonna go ahead and strain our pasta. Woo! This is gonna go right in. Give yourself a good facial. Woo! Okay, and I'm gonna go right back in to the same dish. I'm not too concerned if there's extra pasta water surrounding these noodles. Does not hurt it at all. In fact, a lot of like tomato sauces, you can put a full ladle of your pasta water in, and it kind of helps thicken the tomato sauce. So now it is time to spill away. Oh golly. I mean, sometimes it's just not fair. This is so beautiful. This is so beautiful. Now, I did not add any salt or pepper yet. I am going to put pepper in, but I did not add any salt because the Parmesan is a super salty cheese, and so is the cream cheese. The cream cheese has a saltiness to it. So I am going to let this finish cooking off. Most of these noodles look al dente, so they're going to need a couple more moments, but I did want to at least give you the gist of the idea here. So we're just going to put in a little handful of pepper, and I'm going to do a simple garnish with some beautiful chives. The bright green of these little tiny onions are just going to make that dish completely pop. Let me remove some of these little goodies here. Get this guy right on my chopping board. And chives are like green onions, but a lot lighter in flavor. They're super delicate. I feel like I used to eat chives when I was walking home from school, but look how just easy they are to slice through. I love them. Delicate, easy, not overpowering. Now, I'm going to take my mussels here. I have decided to plate this because I can't resist. So, I'm just going to take these tongs. My beautiful silver platter, as always. Yeah. Oh, me, oh my. Yep. Isn't that beautiful? Now, I did a whole pound of pasta. I do kind of have a pasta trick up my sleeve. Let me wipe this off. Oh, gorgeous. If you're just cooking for yourself, and you know, pasta only comes in one bag size or one box size, so you end up with a pound or 2 pounds regardless. But if you take your index finger and put the center of your fingernail at the first line of your thumb, that is the perfect serving for single people of pasta. But don't take it so far as to think that bow tie would be included in that, because then you're only going to get one noodle, and that would be really silly. But if you're working with spaghetti or anything of a thinner noodle, it's the perfect size. So depending on how many people are in your family, if you want to measure it out, have a great time with that. But I went ahead and did the whole pound here. This smells so delicious. I have to see if that nutmeg really did what Chris promised me. Oh boy, that's too big. Let's see, let's go right here. I think it's all going to be really big. There we go. Oh my God, that sauce is so good. That sauce is so stinking good. I can taste the cream cheese. I think it's worth putting cream cheese in your Alfredo sauce. Now, every time I've bought Alfredo sauce, I get the little jars, and I always enhance it, which that's a fine, quick thing to do for your pasta dishes. I always add in Parmesan cheese. I've even put in a little bit of pepper jack. It has the seasonings with some red pepper, which goes so good with any pasta dish, and it just gives it a pop. Pepper jack is not always just for your Mexican dishes. Throw it into some Italian dishes. Super great idea. That is so delicious. While I'm at it here, I'm in love with this salad. I really am. I can't hardly believe how wonderful it smells. I'm going to try to find one piece of bacon and a little bit of cheese. This could be a bigger bite than I'm... Nope, that's perfect. There's no such thing as too big a bite. Not for this chick. I think it's my favorite salad I've ever had in my life. Oh, you guys. And you could take this to any limit you wanted. And I clearly took this to a degree that has blown my own mind. It's the dressing. It's the peppery, the sweet anise, the bacon, and those tomatoes that I did in there. Oh my gosh, you guys. On top of beauty, it is delicious. Kind of like me. What? So, on that note, I'm going to finish my bread. It's not even done cooking. But God, it's getting there, you guys. It's so getting there. Where's my little hot pad? This oven just takes a little long. But look at how beautiful that has plumped up. Can you imagine another, I don't know, 5-7 minutes? But I could say that 2 more times. But it's going to get a golden crust on it, similar to the bread that I already finished. And it's going to be pull apart tender and go amazing with this pasta feast. So, in the 2 people that I know that are Italian, I say to you, mangia. So, enjoy the rest of this almost snowy day. It's going to keep flurrying, I think, and maybe we'll get a downpour come Thursday. Lord only knows. But it has been my treat to be back here with you guys again, and I look forward to seeing you on my next episodes with gnocchi and halibut. And from my view to yours, have a wonderful afternoon.